When it was announced on January 24, 1965, that former British Prime Minister Winston Churchill died at the age of 90, his death was considered by many to be the end of an important era in history. On the occasion of his death, historian Sir Arthur Bryant wrote, "The day of giants is gone forever." Meanwhile, novelist V.S. Pritchett claimed that the past was now irrecoverable. Similarly, French President Charles de Gaulle met the news of Churchill's demise with these words, "Now Britain is no longer a great power." As Andrew Roberts wrote in Churchill, Walking with Destiny, Churchill, who fought in several international British conflicts in his lifetime and who, as Prime Minister, led the country through World War II, was treated to one of the grandest non-royal funerals in British history. It was broadcast on BBC, featured 9 military bands performing in tribute to the late Prime Minister, and in a break from protocol, it was only one of 2 public funerals attended in her lifetime by the late British Queen Elizabeth II. While the public was treated to this kind of pomp and ceremony, details of Churchill's death later revealed the tragic circumstances of his final days. Those details included the uncanny fact that he died on the anniversary of his own father's death, which the Daily Mail reminds us he had predicted years earlier. And then there were Churchill's austere and disturbing last words. Winston Churchill was well known for his shimmering wit all throughout his long life. For example, the book The Wicked Wit of Winston Churchill tells us that as early as his 75th birthday in 1949, he told the assembled well-wishers, "I am ready to meet my maker. Whether my maker is ready for the ordeal of meeting me is another matter." While he presented boundless energy and lived a socialite lifestyle, smoking cigars and reportedly drinking champagne almost continuously, Churchill was also open about those times in his life that were far from joyous. According to the New York Times, Churchill uttered his final words to his son-in-law, Christopher Soames, on January 15th, more than a week before his eventual death. The late Prime Minister grimly stated, "I am bored with it all." As Andrew Roberts wrote in Churchill, Walking with Destiny, the celebrated former Prime Minister first suffered a cerebral arterial spasm in December, followed by a stroke on January 9th. His long declining health perhaps shed some light on the frustration evident in his last words. With ill health plaguing him for so long, it follows that circumstances may have brought his mood so low in those final days. But it wasn't poor health alone that drove him to such a sorrowful conclusion.
Out of the depths of sorrow and of sacrifice will be born again the glory of mankind.
According to psychology professor Nasir Ghami, the beloved former prime minister suffered from chronic depression throughout his life. More commonly known as melancholia at the time, it came with apparent symptoms that were consistent with today's definition of bipolar disorder. And though Winston Churchill was still officially working as a member of parliament a year before his death, the 3-time British prime minister had in fact been ill for some time. As told by historian Roy Jenkins in his book Churchill, at 77 years old, Churchill was again voted in as prime minister. Even at that point, though, many around him already believed he was too physically impaired to perform the role. But stubborn as ever, he doggedly ignored them. Churchill, in fact, only resigned his office as prime minister under pressure in 1955, 10 years before his death. Biographer Roy Jenkins also suggests that Churchill's reluctance to give up power years earlier may well have affected his health in the years leading up to his death. From the earliest period of World War II onward, Churchill's doctor prescribed amphetamines to help address his chronic depressive episodes and barbiturates to help him sleep. The ups and downs of depression were such a constant companion for Churchill that he even had his own nickname for it, the Black Dog. Nonetheless, Churchill is remembered to this day for his exuberance in life as much as his political accomplishments.